What's up, everybody? I wanted to talk a little bit about ivy just because this is the winter time, just coming out of the winter time. Here it's March in the Northwest, and as I'm out doing my work every day, I run into a lot of this English ivy, or also there's a closely related cousin, Atlantic ivy or Irish ivy. But most of what we see is English ivy here in the Northwest. It grows absolutely everywhere, and people plant it because they like the look of it. And then it also grows as a noxious weed, as King County has placed it on their noxious weed list, and it just grows everywhere. And I have to admit, it's actually not that bad. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, obviously this was planted here below this cherry tree here, and so this here is English ivy, and it's decorative, and right now it's not too bad. But what I wanted to talk about specifically today, because I've seen a lot of this, especially out in the green belts and on trees close to people's homes, you'll see this ivy growing up the branching of the tree. And I'm going to try to get a close-up. Now this, obviously, homeowner's taking care of it, has cut it and kept it low to the ground where it's supposed to be. But a lot of people just let it go, and it starts to climb up the branches. You can see right here where this vine is, if you can see with the glares, it's starting to grow up this branch, and you can see where it's wrapping itself around the branch. Now it's just a tiny little 1/4 inch vine at this point, but these things will grow to literally branch size vines. These things can get 5 to 6 inches thick, and they can, become woody branches like a tree. And what happens is it wraps itself around the tree, different areas. A lot of times it happens down low, but it can happen up high, and it will girdle the tree, which it'll basically choke the tree, the feeding system to the branches of the tree. It'll choke it. And if you remember your biology classes in high school, the xylem and the phloem, the food passageways up and down the branch from the roots to the leaves, that gets choked out, and then no sugars or waters can get up and down. So that tree limb would actually end up dying. And if it were down here, it could actually kill the entire tree. And so you see these branches, and they grow all these vines that grow way up the trees, and they end up becoming woody limbs that choke out the tree. But not only that, the weight of those vines can become extremely heavy, and that added weight to a tree, especially when it rains or snows, can add so much weight to the tree that it can actually uproot. With the weight alone, it can uproot a healthy tree. So the reason I wanted to talk about this was because I think a lot of people could prevent this from happening if they just kind of knew to come out here, on their trees, and just basically, at this point, you can just pull these things off. They just snap really easy. And I have to say, even the bigger ones are easy to take off if you have the right tool. They just snap. Everything just snaps pretty easily. This one growing up here, but you can tell it's not extremely easy, but I'm trying to do this one-handed here. But yeah, just pull this ivy off and then throw it in your yard waste. Keep the ivy down low here where it's decorative. You can even let it wrap around the trunk. So just remember to always come out here and peel that back. A lot of times I have to come underneath and really pull this ivy back. I don't know if I can get a good visual here. Yeah. Anyways, you can see the size of some of these vines in here. They can get pretty big. And so yeah, just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and let you know if you can come out here. Now here's the other thing: if the ivy has gotten so big that you can't reach it, what you can do is you can pick a section of the tree, maybe a 3 to 4 section of the tree, and cut all the ivy. Just be careful not to cut into the bark, but cut the ivy or rip that part off that's down low, and generally that stuff above will die. Now, it can get so big that it can actually live off the tree, so it's not a guaranteed, but most of the time that ivy that's above will end up dying, and a lot of times it'll just begin to fall off the tree. But if it's too much ivy, if you've got so much ivy it's not dying, call a tree professional to come out and extract and kill that ivy, because it will girdle and it will kill your tree. All right, thanks a lot.